Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's both terrifying and crucial to understand, especially for those living in Southern California, the Los Angeles fire season. It's more than just a news headline. It's a recurring phenomenon that shapes life, policy, and the very landscape of one of America's largest cities. So, what exactly is the Los Angeles fire season? Traditionally, it was considered to be the late summer and fall months, roughly from August to November. When the perfect storm of conditions usually brews. We're talking about months of dry, hot weather that turns our beautiful hillsides and canyons into a tinderbox, combined with the notorious Santa Ana winds. Ah, the Santa Anas! If you've lived in LA, you know them. These are super dry, powerful winds that sweep down from the high deserts, gaining speed and heat as they squeeze through mountain passes. They can turn a small spark into a raging inferno in minutes, catting embers for miles and starting new fires far from the original flame. Think of them as a giant hairdryer blasting the landscape, making everything incredibly flammable. But here's the scary part. The concept of a fire season is becoming outdated. Climate change is a huge factor here. We're seeing longer periods of drought, higher average temperatures, and less predictable rainfall. This means the fuel, the dry brush, and grass is ready to burn for more months of the year. Experts now say we're reliving in a fire year rather than a fire season. The risk is almost constant. Let's talk about the fuel itself. Chaparral. This is the dominant ecosystem in our local mountains. It's a community of hardy, drought-resistant shrubs that are perfectly adapted to a fire-prone environment. In fact, some of these plants need fire to reproduce. Their seeds will only germinate after being exposed to intense heat. It's a natural cycle of death and rebirth, too. The problem arises when human development pushes into these areas. This is what we call the wildland-urban interface, or WUI. It's where suburbia meets the wilderness. Millions of homes in the LA area are built in or next to these high-for-risk zones. When a fire starts, it's not just burning through wildlands, it's threatening homes, businesses, and lives. So how do these fires even start? The causes are varied. Lightning can be a natural cause, but it's relatively rare in Southern California during the dry season. The overwhelming majority, over 90% of wildfires, are caused by humans. This can be anything from downed power lines, which is a major and recurring issue, to sparks from a car's exhaust, discarded cigarettes, or even arson. Accidental fires from activities like mowing a lawn on a dry, whole day, or a campfire that wasn't properly extinguished are also common culprits. It highlights how a single moment of carelessness can have devastating consequences. Where fire does break out, the response is nothing short of a military-style operation. You've probably seen the images. The massive yellow and white Super Scooper planes, skimming the surface of the ocean or a lake to scoop up thousands of gallons of water. The giant DC-10s and 747s retrofitted as air tankers, dropping lines of bright red fire retardant, and the helicopters, like the LAFD's own fleet, making precise water drops and transporting firefighters to remote locations, too. These aerial assets are incredible, but they are just one part of the fight. The real heroes are the boots on the ground. Thousands of firefighters from agencies like the LA County Fire Department, the LAFD, CAL FIRE, and the U.S. Forest Service work in brutal conditions. They're cutting fire breaks, which are wide paths cleared of all vegetation to stop the fire's advance. They're hiking into steep, smoky terrain with heavy gear to douse hotspots with hoses and hand tools. They work 4 days, sometimes weeks, with little rest, breathing in smoke and facing extreme heat. It is an unbelievably grueling and dangerous job. Now, let's look at some of the most infamous fires in LA's history. The Bel Air Fire of 1961 was a wake-up call. It destroyed nearly 500 homes in one of the city's wealthiest neighborhoods, showing that no area was immune. More recently, the Woolsey fire in 2018 was a monster. It burned nearly 100,000 acres, stretching from the San Fernando Valley all the way to the Pacific Ocean in Malibu. It destroyed over 1,600 structures and forced the evacuation of 250,000 people. The Skirball fire in 2017 is another one people remember, as it raced up the Sepulveda Pass, shutting down the 405 freeway and threatening the Getty Center. These events are seared into the collective memory of the city. The aftermath of a fire is another challenge. The fire might be out, but the danger isn't over. The burned landscape is now unstable. Without vegetation to hold the soil in place, the risk of mudslides and debris flows during the winter rainy season becomes extremely high. A moderate rainstorm over a burn scar can trigger a catastrophic flow of mud, rocks, and burnt debris, inundating homes and roads below. It's a devastating one-two punch. So, what can be done? It's a multifaceted approach. At the government and utility level, there's a huge push for grid hardening. This means utilities are replacing old wooden power poles with steel ones, morcelating power lines, and implementing more aggressive vegetation management programs to keep trees and brush away from the lines. They're also using something called public safety power shutoffs, where they preemptively turn off electricity in high-risk areas during extreme wind events. It's controversial and inconvenient, but the goal is to prevent their equipment from starting a fire. Prescribed burns are another tool. This is where firefighters intentionally set controlled low-intensity fires under very specific weather conditions. The idea is to clear out the excess dry brush and undergrowth in a manageable way, so that when an uncontrolled wildfire does occur, it has less fuel to burn and is easier to contain. It's about fighting fire with fire. And then there's the personal responsibility aspect, especially for homeowners in the WUI. This is where the concept of defensible space comes in. It's a buffer zone you create around your home by clearing away dead plants, trimming trees, and choosing fire-resistant landscaping. The first 5 feet from your house should be totally clear of anything flammable. This space doesn't stop the fire, but it gives firefighters a chance to safely defend your home. Hardening your home itself is also key, using fire-resistant roofing and siding, covering attic vents with fine metal mesh to keep embers out, and having double-paned windows. Living in Los Angeles means living with the reality of fire. It's part of the deal. But by understanding the science, the history, and the risks, we can be better prepared. It's about respecting the power of nature and learning to coexist with it more safely. It requires community effort, government action, and individual preparedness. We can't fireproof Los Angeles, but we can make it more fire resilient. If you live in a fire-prone area, please take the time to visit your local fire department's website. They have incredible resources on how to create defensible space and make an evacuation plan for your family. Know your evacuation routes and have a go bag ready. It's not about being paranoid. It's about being prepared. Your safety and the safety of our first responders depend on it. Thanks so much for watching. I know this was a heavy topic, but it's an important one. If you found this information useful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the issues that shape our world. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.